Heights Chill, good morning, and welcome back to the Big Show. This is your daily sovereignty briefing. Today is Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. We're almost there, almost at the end of the week, and we are diving deep into tribal sovereignty, indigenous rights, and policy updates across the United States and Canada. Remember, sovereignty isn't monolithic, and today we're looking at both sides of the biggest legal and policy battles across Indian country, starting with the most critical national developments. Let's hit the big headlines for this morning. First, in land and border sovereignty, a federal judge is signaling reluctance to block a 62-mile border wall expansion through the Tohono O'odham Nation in Arizona. The tribe filed for an injunction arguing that the wall alters reservation boundaries and threatens sacred sites like the Boboquirvi Mountains. Now, while the tribal government is suing to protect sacred grounds, internal reservation discussions highlight complex trade-offs, including past tribal collaboration with Border Patrol on electronic surveillance to combat cartel crime. It's a massive test of whether federal security mandates can override tribal land consent. And moving north of the border up to Canada, resource and energy sovereignty, the Assembly of First Nations is pushing back against Ottawa's plan to fast-track major energy projects. Nations like the Athabasca Chipewyan First Nation and groups like Keepers of the Water oppose major pipeline expansions, citing grave risks to drinking water, treaty rights, and community health. But there's another side. Coalitions like the First Nations Major Project Coalition and Athabasca Indigenous Investments, representing 23 communities, are backing major energy partnerships using federal loan guarantees. Their argument? Equity ownership delivers long-term financial self-reliance and jobs for Indigenous youth. Next, in policy, finance, and gaming, the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs is moving to reauthorize NAHASDA for tribal housing block grants. Meanwhile, the Indian Gaming Association is pressing Congress to protect tribal gaming exclusivity against unregulated online prediction markets, a move supported by gaming tribes through some digital-leaning tribes favor broader market opportunities. In identity and governance, Canada's Indigenous Service Department is holding summer consultations on Bill C-38 to eliminate the second-generation cutoff under the Indian Act. The Native Women's Association of Canada is calling for full removal of sex-based discrimination to restore status to descendants immediately. However, some local band councils urge caution, warning that adding thousands of citizens without additional federal funding for housing, land, and healthcare threatens local governance autonomy. And turning to historical justice and MMIP, the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition and the Department of the Interior have wrapped up a historic 22-stop oral history project in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Over 383 survivor testimonies were recorded and will be permanently housed in the Library of Congress, ensuring Native history is preserved by survivors, not dictated by federal agencies. And in weather, we got some extreme weather going on across Indian country this morning. Again, extreme wildfire hazards and thick smoke are impacting remote Indigenous communities across British Columbia, Alberta, and the U.S. West Coast. Emergency managers are calling for urgent infrastructure upgrades. All right, you guys, remember, tribal sovereignty isn't just a legal concept, it's an active daily fight for self-determination on every front. If you found today's breakdown valuable, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this podcast with someone who needs to stay informed. You can find me everywhere podcasts are available. And again, thank you so much for all the people that have given me feedback, have given me all kinds of comments, those likes and shares and subscribes. Thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in. Stay grounded, stay informed. We'll see you again tomorrow morning for the last of this week's Daily Sovereignty Report.